because the way that I see it is Justin Fields is probably a top 2, top 3 quarterback in this draft. And top 3
Period.
is it, he's not lower than top 3. He's not top 5 or anything lower than that. He is a top 3, arguably top 2 quarterback in this draft class. Now, I understand that there's a lot of hype around Zach Wilson going to the Jets, and basically the Jets have already kind of said that they're going to pick Zach Wilson with that second
Without
pick.
saying it, yeah.
Yeah, they're basically going to pick Zach Wilson at this point. I'd be really surprised if they decided to make a 180 and change their minds. But how much, Kev, I wanted to ask you this. How much do you want to bet that after the second pro day that he just had, that the reports that will come out, they will say, oh, Justin is now the betting favorite to go to the 49ers based off of that one picture, the one interaction between him and Kyle Shanahan discussing something between both of them. How much do you want to bet? Because
I can't bet. I can't because he had that same picture with Mac Jones at his pro day.
It's just like, but like that's the thing is like, I think a lot of people make too much about these pro days. These pro days are just essentially simulated throwing sessions. Granted, I know that, you know, it's cool to see him scramble and throw the ball 60 yards. It's like when he's like fading away, throwing it downfield. I get that. But to me, when I see Justin Fields and what he did on the field for Ohio State, he was one of the most dependable quarterbacks that you could ask for in a college quarterback. He was one of the more efficient quarterbacks. He didn't turn the ball over that frequently. And his legs, his ability to run out of the pocket and extend plays with his feet and quickly, like Kev said, he ran a 4.4 in his 40-yard dash. This kid could run. I mean, that's almost like a wide receiver speed. So I find it very odd that his draft stock took a complete tumble to where Charley is saying that this guy is almost outside of the top 25. I think is disrespectful. I think it's disgraceful too, because there is no way, and there's no way in hell that Justin Fields is going that low. Listen, I'm a Patriot fan. We had a discussion about this about a month ago, saying if Justin Fields were to get to 15, would New England take him? And I would personally love to see him on the Patriots since I'm a Patriot fan. I'd be shocked if he went that low. This guy has him at 24, going to Pittsburgh. Granted, I get the idea of him going to Pittsburgh because he would essentially be the next generation after Big Ben. He's not going that low though. If he gets that low, that's a slap in the face. And as far as I'm concerned, he could use that as momentum or like fire to get back at the league for all the teams that passed him.
So here's why I think this guy is full of shit, because I'm literally looking at the order for the draft. You have Jacksonville going with Trevor Lawrence, obviously. New York is looking to go with Zach Wilson. San Fran, we don't know if it's going to end up being Mac Jones or what. There's a lot of hype behind Mac Jones and Kyle Shanahan. So I'm just going to skip over those, and I'm going to skip over teams that have a quarterback already, right? So the next team is the Atlanta Falcons. Obviously, we know Matt Ryan is getting up there in age. We know Matt Ryan is performing at a good level, but, you know, Atlanta could use a backup quarterback for the future. God forbid, Matt were to go down with an injury or if he were to take a dive. I'm skipping over Cincinnati. I'm skipping over Miami. I'm skipping over Detroit because they just got Goff. Goff is under 30. It would shock me that they need a lot of other things more than a quarterback right now. I'm skipping over Carolina because they have Teddy Bridgewater right this second, and they just traded for Sam Darnold. I'm skipping over Denver because Denver has Drew Lock. I'm skipping over Dallas because Dallas just signed Dak. I'm skipping over New York and Philadelphia. New York has Danny Dimes. Philly's got
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts and they need a lot of other shit more than a quarterback right now. And they're not trying to repeat what the hell they did last year with drafting somebody and creating quarterback controversy before the season even starts. Chargers obviously have Herbert. And then you have the Minnesota Vikings. I could see him maybe going there. Kirk Cousins is in the final year of his deal. I don't know if he's going to get another extension. And then obviously, like Kyle said, the Patriots. There are a lot of teams in the beginning, like between the first 10, 15 picks that don't need quarterbacks. So if he does fall outside of the top 4, the closest team I can see maybe stretching to get Justin Fields would be Philly because they're stupid, or it would be Minnesota because they need somebody behind Kirk Cousins. If not, New England is primed to get a quarterback for the next 10 to 15 years, God willing, because there's a lot of these teams have quarterbacks under the age of 26. There's no reason for them to go out and draft a Justin Fields. So reasonably, can he fall to you? Absolutely. But will he? I hope not.
This guy had him going to 24.
Dude, 24 is stupid because right after New England, well, actually, hold on. It might make a little bit of sense. I don't think we looked at this in depth enough because right after you, Arizona's got Kyler. Las Vegas has Derek, who was on the trading block and then taken off. Then it's Miami again. Washington can use him. Chicago can use him. We don't need him. Tennessee doesn't need him. The Jets are back again. They're not going to draft a quarterback again. And then the Steelers. So realistically, in the first 24 picks, the only teams that need a quarterback are maybe 5. Maybe 5.
I would imagine that one of those 5s are going to take Justin Fields if he's
130%. Listen, Detroit is one of the dumbest franchises in all of the NFL. Guys, if you're a Lions fan, I'm not saying that to insult you. You have been absolutely irrelevant and wasted the entire career of Megatron, who got inducted into the Hall of Fame this year. Don't know how. And Matthew Stafford walked out of there happy as a pig in shit, and you got Jared Goff in return. So could they do that? Possibly at 7. Carolina, I don't think so. Dallas obviously can't afford it. And Denver, maybe. Drew Lock was hot. Drew Lock was cold. And John Elway is the VP, so I don't see why he wouldn't draft another quarterback. I just don't think it's smart. Denver needs a lot of help on that offensive line. So, again, these are just my predictions. But it does, now that I look at it, make sense in depth why he thinks he could go to 24. I genuinely, in my personal opinion, I don't think it's even possible, bro. There's no way 4 or 5 of these teams pass up on him. There's no way. Especially New England. If he hits 15, there's no way New England doesn't pull the trigger. There's no way.
It would almost be like Lamar Jackson when he fell almost out of the first round.
I disagree. I'm going to cut you off right there. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be disrespectful. Lamar was in question because of his accuracy and a lot of other things. This man, Justin Fields, doesn't have those issues, and he's not as mobile as Lamar. People wanted to transfer Lamar's position because of his speed. Dude, Justin Fields is a quarterback through and through. And again, I'm not saying Lamar Jackson isn't. I had previous opinions of him prior to draft night, but obviously him winning the MVP and a lot of other things prior to that showed me that he could be a good quarterback in this league. Justin Fields isn't in that same stigma. There's no way. Like I cannot allow that comparison to be made. Lamar fell for the right reasons of concerns, and Baltimore took the gamble. High risk, low reward. High risk, high reward. They got the reward, and Lamar is still healthy, knock on wood, and he's still playing efficiently. Justin Fields is a good, effective system quarterback with a good arm, and he's got legs underneath him. I would probably say not skill-wise, but overall build-up, I would say he's more of like an Andrew Luck kind of makeup to a certain extent because he has the accuracy, he can move, he can throw the ball down the field. I don't know about durability because Andrew Luck took a lot of licks in the NFL, and he unfortunately, oh my God, it hurts. He retired so early, but he does have a lot of those mature factors of being able to sit up in the pocket and make a throw. Now, granted, accuracy when he's pressured, like any other quarterback, was a lot of things was questionable, as well as his late game decision making. But he's a rookie. You know what I'm saying? The Big Ten isn't exactly challenging outside of Michigan at the end of the year and Indiana this year. So I mean, it's going to come with time.
I think it'd be nuts if he fell to 24, though. I think it would be
stupid. There's no way. Bro, Chicago needs a quarterback. If he makes it to 20, which I don't think he will, if Chicago doesn't draft Justin Fields, I think Chicago needs to be wiped out from the NFL. They need to be they need to be the what's that episode from SpongeBob? The Salty Spittoon and that needs to be Weenie Hut Jr. over there, bro. Yeah. Because there's no way Chicago's going to pass up on him. There's no shot.
And the thing is, though, there are going to be teams that might even trade up to go get Justin. You kind of have to keep that in mind here.
Exactly.
I'm just saying, New England could try to package the deal together where they try to move up a couple spots. You mentioned that there are a lot of teams in that top 10 that don't need a quarterback. Granted, they may use those picks to address other needs on the team, but I could see somebody definitely trying to make a move to go get Justin in the top 10 and then the most top 15. If he drops anything below the top 15, I think it would be insulting to Justin.
I do too.